Look, nobody in this new season?
No, in the 8 years that you did it, where you felt
Tucker.
like, wow, we could get hurt doing this. Was the first example.
I field tested a shark suit during Shark Week in 2006 off the coast, down in the Bahamas. Stainless steel suit.
Yep.
You make it like a suit of armor. Jeremiah Sullivan's the guy who invented this thing. The job was to help him make the suit. But of course, once you make the suit, guys like Jeremiah go, well, let's test it. Well, how do you test it? Well, you put it on, you fill the water with blood and chum, you wait for about 30 reef sharks to start swirling in a giant gray ball of feeding frenziness. Then you jump in, and you let them bite you. So that was exciting. And, when you get bit by a shark, when you're wearing one of those suits, it's very strange because you see their mouth open and you see it clamp on you and you feel the pressure.
Can you feel the force?
You feel the force. It bruises you. But it works, obviously. I'm here. The teeth don't get that through the steel, which is great news. And so, that was, I think, the first time where I really thought, this seems ill-advised. I mean, really. And so, one day we were in Michigan on the mighty Mack.
Yeah.
That big, enormous green suspension bridge that connects the upper and the lower
peninsula. Of course. The Mackinac bridge.
Those guys were great. They let me all over the bridge. We painted it. We went down into the interior of the superstructure to do all sorts of crazy claustrophobic things. And then at the end of the day, as a joke, I said, the foreman there says, you got everything you need? And I said, yeah, I think so. But it would be fun. What if I were to walk across that girder there and then walk up that big suspension cable to, I don't know, maybe change some of the light bulbs up there on the cable? Now, I say this knowing there's no way a government-run bureaucratic project is going to allow a guy to do that on TV.
Except in the Upper Peninsula, where they might allow it.
Dude, that's a different breed of human up there. But the guy looked me in the face and said, yeah, okay. And I could still hear the sound of my sphincter slamming shut. Because, of course, we did it. And we filmed it. And that went on to become one of the iconic moments of the whole series.
That's windy. That's a windy. It's a strait, of course. It's the upper and lower peninsulas of Michigan are joined by this bridge, and the wind just screams through.
It howls.
What was that like?
Well, I mean, there's Mackinac over there, beautiful little island, and there I am, about 600 feet up, and I look down, and the wind is howling. But there were many, and it's nothing that. Some things are inherently dangerous, but remember, I'm an apprentice. So it's my first day on the job. It's Groundhog's Day in a sewer.
Right.
Right.
Before I get to the new show, I should have asked you this 10 minutes ago. I'm sure there are a number of moments when you were nervous shooting it. Mm-hmm. But what's the one that comes immediately to mind?
Here's the moment.
600 feet?
Yeah, I think it's about 580 when you're at the top. And we had a Westcam unit, meaning there's a helicopter with one of those big cameras under it. So the helicopter is flying around the bridge, and we're getting like that master and commander shot. It looks great. And now here I am, I'm all in my head thinking, oh man, I'm going to look pretty good, right? I mean, this shot's going to be great, and I'm tied off and I'm changing light bulbs. Well, the thing is, when you walk up that cable, you're tied off on two sides, and you get to these stanchions, and you have to unclip and then clip, and they keep going. Well, I get way up there, and now I want to get my shot, right? So I do some of this, and I do some more of that, and I lean down, and I'm hanging onto the cable, and I'm changing this bulb, and I'm communicating with the pilot, right? So the helicopter comes up like this, and they're shooting me in this shot, and I know it looks great. And I look down, and there comes one of these freighters, 600 feet below. Looks like this, right? Looks like a battleship game. I'm up there. And then I see something I didn't think I was going to see. In my haste to get positioned just so, I hadn't tied myself back in.
Oh, come on now.
So I'm hanging on like this, and I'm looking out like that. And now look, this is the interesting part of the story. Nothing changes. I'm in no more or less peril of slipping than I was before. The stakes of slipping have increased exponentially.
Well, you're in way greater peril of slipping because now you know that you're free climbing it.
Now well, look, I tied off in a second later. But in that moment, when I wasn't tied off, I thought back to Fred King, my high school music teacher who gave me so much great advice. And one of the things he used to always tell us when we were on stage was, the minute you crap the bed is when you stop thinking about what you're doing and start thinking about how you're doing. So what, not how, was an expression he drove into his mind. And that's what happened to me.
This guy was a public school drama teacher?
Music teacher.
Music teacher.
He was brilliant. He was a philosopher. But what, not how became one of these mantras. I tell myself that now all the time, whether I'm going on a show like yours or whether, I'm shooting a...
What, not how?
What are you doing? Focus on what you're doing, whether you're selling a collectible doll.
That's right.
Whether you're doing a stand-up in Antietam or whether you're on the Mackinac Bridge. If you think about what you're doing, you're going to tie yourself off every time because that is part of the job. You think about how you're doing, you want to get the shot just right, you're going to take a shortcut.
Yeah.
And shortcuts, as you may have heard, lead to long delays.
Or,
long fall.